If you own a Bambu Lab A1 and AMS Lite, there's only one thing your printer has been missing since day one. A way to keep your filament dry while it's actually printing. Now let's just start off with, if you're mostly printing in PLA, you may not need a filament dryer. But if you want to start printing in materials like PETG, nylon, and polycarbonate, you're gonna need one. I'm Brian DeLuca, and this is MakerBuildIt, where we turn ideas into projects. And today we are checking out the new Sunlu AMS Lite Heater. Now this upgrade is for the Bambu Labs AMS Lite, whether you have an A1 or an A1 Mini, anything that uses the AMS Lite could actually use this AMS heater. So instead of replacing your AMS system, it pretty much goes inside of this unit with a few easy tweaks. So what is the AMS Lite Heater? At first it looks like just a protective enclosure for the AMS Lite, but it's much more than that because it allows your filament to heat while you're actually printing. And the reason why that's important is you could dry your filament and have continuous operation versus drying your filament in a separate filament dryer. It supports drying temperature up to 70 degrees Celsius while maintaining all of the original AMS's functionality. That means your filament stays in a controlled environment from the minute you load it to the minute you're done printing and you remove it from the AMS. If you've been around 3D printing for a while, you've probably heard a lot about wet filament. Many filaments naturally absorb moisture from the air, especially if you leave them out. Now that's called hygroscopy. And when moisture builds up in certain types of filament, excessive stringing, rough surface finish, inconsistent extrusion, and more importantly, poor layer adhesion and weaker parts. Some materials absorb very low moisture, and I would argue some even none, such as PLA, depending on the PLA. So if there's additives in the PLA, sometimes it absorbs moisture, while others absorb it really quickly. That's why keeping your filament dry is more important once you start using materials past PLA. So one of the biggest advantages is the Sunlu AMS Lite Heater actually works with a lot of various different materials. Now let's go through all of them. PLA, like I said, is probably the least of your concern. It absorbs very little moisture, if none at all. Now, if you're only printing in basic PLA, this may not be the right upgrade for you. But even heating that PLA that's been sitting out for a while could still help maintain print consistency. Now, PETG absorbs moisture pretty quickly, and this is where you see a lot of issues such as stringing and print inconsistencies. So keeping your PETG dry will actually create better prints, and we're going to get to printing with some PETG in a minute. Now, ABS and ASA don't absorb moisture aggressively as some of the other engineering materials, but they could still benefit from a drier environment, especially if they've been sitting around for a while. Nylon absorbs moisture, and if you've ever printed nylon before, you'll know keeping it dry is probably one of the main reasons why products like this exist. So being able to use this on materials like nylon give you a huge advantage versus having to dry your filament outside of your printer. Now, polycarbonate, or PC, is another material that benefits greatly from drying. Since it's often used for strong functional parts, low moisture levels help produce more consistent and reliable parts. According to Sunlu, the AMS Lite Heater supports drying PLA, PETG, ABS, ASA, PA or nylon, PC, TPU, and other common filament materials with adjustable drying temperatures up to 70 degrees Celsius. Now, I do want to point something out. Just because the heater could dry the material doesn't mean the AMS Lite or the printer can handle the material through the AMS. For example, TPU is not designed to feed through the AMS on the A1 or the A1 Mini. It is designed to feed directly into the print head. And it doesn't mean you're gonna have perfect prints using all these materials, because even though it's heated and it's going through the AMS, your printer using an A1 or the A1 Mini, you don't have a heated chamber. So keep that in mind. This upgrade is about keeping materials dry when you're either storing them or you're using them in your print workflow. It's not changing the AMS Lite's material capability. Installation is a little more involved than simply placing your AMS Lite into an enclosure. The AMS Lite mounts directly into the heater using the supplied hardware and adapter brackets, creating what feels like one integrated unit once everything is assembled. Once everything is installed, your AMS Lite works just like it always has. You simply added active drying and humidity control around your filament. Now let's get this hooked up to the Bambu Labs A1 and print something in 4 colors. I think we're gonna do this little dragon that I designed in PETG. And if you haven't downloaded this model yet, I'll put a link in the description below, both to it on my site, MakerBuildIt.com, as well as MakerWorld. And while this is printing, let's talk about some of the other features. Beyond simply adding heat, Sunlu packed in several features that make this much more than an heated enclosure. The heater uses dual-channel airflow systems to circulate warm air evenly through the chamber. It also includes an automatic moisture vent that releases humid air during the drying process instead of trapping it inside. On top of that, the system continually monitors for humidity inside the chamber and can automatically activate drying when humidity rises above the preset levels, helping you keep your filament dry and ready to print. On the front of the unit is an LCD display where you can monitor temperature and humidity, select your filament type, adjust drying temperatures from 35°C to 70°C, and set drying times. So let's take a look at this little dragon. He came out really nice after that PETG was dry. Let me get the one of the PLA ones. This is going to be a better color rate. Actually, it sort of looks like Barney, but you sort of see he came out really good. Actually, maybe even cleaner lines than the PLA one. So should you consider adding the Sunlu AMS Lite Heater to your workflow? If you leave your material loaded in your AMS for long periods of time, want to print in PETG or other engineering materials, or simply want a simpler workflow, this is one of those upgrades you may really want to consider. So just so you know, Sunlu did send us this unit to evaluate, and they do have it at an introductory offer right now. So if you've been thinking about adding a filament dryer to your A1 or your A1 mini workflow anyway, those introductory prices are an interesting option to consider. I think this is one of the more practical upgrades I've seen for the workflow for the Bambu Labs A1 and A1 mini with the AMS Lite. It doesn't try to reinvent the system. It works with your current AMS Lite to create a controlled environment and a better workflow, especially if you want to work with different types of materials. For more on 3D printing, DIY, and maker projects, make sure you like and follow MakerBuildIt, and remember, keep on making. Oh, and remember, the best filament upgrades aren't always new materials. Sometimes it's keeping the materials you have dry.